In this video, we are going to tell you an answer to one question that people ask us all the time. How is it to have kids? Like, is it hard? Everyone says it's hard. Yeah, we have an experience of 1.5 kids. Half is inside and one is outside in the kindergarten right now. And yeah, we would like to tell you how it is, what is our experience, and many insights that we got in this 1.5 years of being parents.
We have different points of view on this, though.
For sure, that's amazing.
Okay.
Let's argue.
Okay, let's argue. First of all, I think that every person is different, every couple is different, every kid is different. One thing that I realized before having kids is that I was asking a lot of people how is it to have kids, and I was getting a lot of different answers, and it was really, really difficult to understand. Now, a lot of people say this thing, you can only understand if you have it. I think that's a little not true. It's a little true and a little not true. The part that is not true is that I always use the example of this turtle that I found once in the street. And I never had any passion for turtles, but this one I found in the street, I took care of it, I put it in like a place at home. And once a dog came into where the turtle was and killed it, and I was sad for the turtle. And so what I realized is that I don't think it is about when you have your kid, you love it, but whatever a human, and can be, for example, your wife, your partner, or a friend, or parents, or a cousin, the more you develop a relationship with that human, you tend to care more about it. And the kid, you tend to develop a very strong relationship with because you live a lot of things together. And from the outside, it might seem like a lot of those things are not the kind of things you would want to live, like cleaning poop, for example, was something that I was super afraid of.
You told me I will never do it. Yeah, I'm like,
well, I want to never do it. You said it was a deal breaker, so I said, okay, shit, I'll have to do it, literally. So you're doing all these things and it looks from the outside, but then there's all the other things that are so incredible. Like, he smiles and enjoys being with you and enjoys the world in a way that is very contagious. You know, it's like when your partner or somebody that you love smiles to you and is laughing and is jumping around, right? You also are contagious by that happiness. So we are influenced by his happiness and his joy a lot. And that makes our life have more love and joy. And this is something I did not expect of having kids, and that nobody had able to explain me in this way. Now, the other thing though is that we make videos for entrepreneurs because we are entrepreneurs and that's how we experience the world. And for entrepreneurs, I think the possibility you have to think is like have help, because if you don't have help and you try to do the same life you had before, same commitments, same friends, same everything, and you add a kid to it, suddenly you added at least 10, 15, 20, depend how many hours and depend what you're doing with the kid to your life, and you haven't removed anything, that's impossible. That is why there are families that have stay-at-home moms, which actually we realized when we had a newborn, is that one full-time person or parent,
caregiver, yeah.
Yeah, no. To take care of a kid, it is not equivalent of a full-time job. Because a full-time job is 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. But the kid usually wakes up, our kid wakes up at 8 a.m. and into 8 p.m. And you cannot not have your eyes on them because they don't know yet what can hurt them or what can't. And the world that we have nowadays has a lot of things that can hurt them. Yeah, so you always have to be a bit paying attention, which I had no idea beforehand, does tire you. And so either you get help or you'll be exhausted, or also you're not able to work on your business and you are not able to do anything. So in our case, we got help, and that has changed a lot about our experience.
Yeah, for sure. I have a different story because I feel like basically I always was inside ready to be a mom, to be a parent since I'm like 17. I'm thinking about it. Like my boyfriend's now watching it that I dated at 17. She was thinking about it. Oh my goodness. In reality, I was always ready. I was reading books. I was like getting ready. I knew it's something that I want. And when we met with Matteo, he wasn't ready. So he was like, I'm not sure it is for me. It was kind of, for me, a deal also breaker. I think if he wouldn't want a family, it's not like a pressure. It sounds now like I pressured you into this, but no.
You didn't.
No, I didn't. I just kind of like softly showed you the way, the path. That can be a bit different. And like there are many fears that usually people, what they say to us. So people say to us like, it is, your life is never going to be the same. you're gonna have to change your life forever. You're not gonna have time for meeting your friends. People were telling me your life is over when I was pregnant with the first baby. And I think all of this is just such a negative limiting beliefs, because there's gonna be changes. Obviously, it's a new person coming into your life. But I always compare babies with pets. If you get a pet, your life is changing. So it's very similar. If you already have a pet, it is very similar to that. Just the only difference I feel for now, up to he's 1.5-year-old, is that he's eating sand, he's doing dangerous things, everything that the dog could do.
Sick sometimes.
Get sick, and it's sad. It's it changes your life. But in the same time, it's just beautiful experience. They are progressing and they are becoming every day someone new, and you are finding out this connection. You're finding out who you are, who your relationships are changing also. At some periods of time he's super connected to me, and at some periods of time he's connected to Matteo. It's very interesting because he's his own person, and with the dog I think the progression is way going slower.
One insight I had as you were speaking is that why people say so many negative things to parents or want to be parents. And I actually realized that, for example, this morning I was a little bit tired or a little bit hungry, and so I was a little bit more grumpy. I get grumpy when I'm hungry or tired. And so as a lot of parents are not able to stay not tired, and thus they end up more negative, because everybody's more negative when they're tired, right? And so I think that's where a little bit of it comes from, is that a lot of parents are overwhelmed. For example, if the dad or the mom is staying at home, a lot of society thinks that that's equivalent to a full-time job, but I actually think it is not. It's way more than a full-time job. And so this is something that we realized early on, that we needed even more than one person if we wanted to do this without getting exhausted. We needed also more help in the house, because there's the kid and there's the house. It's different. It's
that's another life hack, is that think of it in advance and not to think that you can do everything. Especially I think mothers, I don't know, but I feel that mothers have this, that no, with a newborn I just gonna do everything myself. I had it. I don't need any help. It's newborn. What would you do?
I wanted to have more help even before, because I was scared of it also. So I think having help changes a lot the experience, because a lot of people see, for example, if a stay-at-home parent is what is needed to take care of a kid, right? And you can do it that way. There's nothing against that. But truth is, while a full-time job is an 8-hour, 9 to 5, let's say, a kid is usually 8 to 8. And before having a kid, I always thought that, sure, it's 8 to 8, but it's not really 8 to 8. But it is kind of 8 to 8, because you don't want to spend time with your kid on your phone or on your computer, or you're trying to do something. Let's say you're trying to clean the house, they're gonna try to unclean it for you. And so while it's very fun to be with them, it is nice to be with them. And if you're trying to do other stuff at the same time, you can do a little bit, but you cannot do a lot. Because of that, I think one thing is we have an amazing cleaning lady that not only cleans, but organizes the house and knows our routine, and everything is very timed. So we don't spend any time with shopping, groceries. There's many things that we kind of get people to help us with. And then that gives us more time to spend with your kid, because if you also want to do those things, those take time from quality time with your kid. Because for me, and this is actually a discussion we had about time, because it, especially moms, but sometimes parents too, dads too, can feel guilty about not spending enough time. And when I look at my childhood, and again, this is not every person's different, but for me, I look at my childhood, I don't think how much time has my dad spent with me or my mom spent with me. I think about the quality of it. And so for me, it's more important to spend quality time with my kid, that I'm without my phone, I'm fully concentrated, and I'm playing with him, I'm doing and talking, telling him a story, than to have time with him that is not with him when I'm trying to do something else while he's trying to be with me. And it's very hard, especially when they're small, to understand that you actually have to do this other thing. And so I prefer to have people in my life that help me do as much as possible of the other things and time with my kid as well, but that allow me to have more quality time with him. And that, I think, changed a lot our experience of being with him.
Yeah, for me, as I think we have here a little bit of cultural difference because Matteo was raised with a help in the house, and so for me it was actually quite challenging to accept help. I was a bit against in the very beginning of relationship that cleaning lady comes too often. I was like, I don't like a person in the house. Then I didn't want after birth anyone in the house. So I want the cleaning lady just to come before I come, and then not to come for some time. And then at some point I'm like, we need to call her. Where she is? I need her. It's just basically something that is culturally not acceptable. I think in many countries in the world, in Eastern Europe, for example, in Russia, it's basically that woman has to do it all. Has to take care of a child, has to cook, has to clean. It's very patriarchy is very much in the past. It's not the life we are living nowadays. And I think that it's still okay for many families. Like, okay, let's just say that for me, I also prioritize my work as well. For me, it was important not to just drop it forever, not to go to maternity leave for 3 years, like it is common in my country, for example, in Russia. And yeah, to continue working. So I had some time with my baby for like half a year, was fully with him. But also, obviously, you need sometimes time for yourself to go to the gym, to go, I don't know, like to sleep, to wash yourself, to go shower.
To relax, sometimes watch a series, something. Yeah, one thing that I think helped us a lot is that early on, Ali became very interested in sleep training and how could we get them to sleep better. So before our son was born, I was also a lot into optimizing our sleep. And actually, Alina tells people sometimes that I'm optimizing the sleep of the adults and she's optimizing the sleep of the kids.
Yeah.
And that was really important because we have a very, very strong routine. And I used to feel trapped by routines. I thought that if you do things according to a routine, you're not free. And what if you want to do something else? But routines can also free you because when you have a fixed routine, people that help you in your life also know what they have to do. And this way allowed us to sleep later in our baby, also through her knowledge that she got into this. And our baby is sleeping from 8 to 8 almost every night. Really helped us set our life on how, I usually wake up a little bit early. I stay with him the first part until she wakes up. Then we have our other routines. And then in the evening, we put him to bed together, which is an amazing moment that we have every night. We try to do that because it's such a beautiful moment. And then we also have time for ourselves after that to spend some quality time together, watch some series or something. So I think that's really, really important that we've done. And without properly sleep training our son, I think would have been much harder to have quality time together, and without, of course, also having help that helps us get through the day, be with him, but also get all the other stuff done, we also wouldn't have been able to create this.
Also, I would say that when people ask like, should I have kids, shouldn't I? You are living a completely different life that I usually was told that people are living with kids, and they're a bit shocked by our lifestyle, that we are traveling, we are doing lots of optimization around the kiddo. And also like his life is very organized, he is very well developed. I love saying that. And basically what I want to say is that when people ask you something like, I'm not sure if I should have kids, what we usually answer, I think my answer would be that if you have good relationships, that you really trust the person, you really want to be with them, then yes, that's a good one.
No,
if you are ready
for
this.
You can just ask people.
This here we argue. Finally.
Yeah. So I don't think you can't know if they should have kids or not have kids. I think that having a great relationship is a great base to have kids, but there are people that don't have a great relationship that have it. We wanted intentionally to have a non-conflictive relationship, and I believe that has helped us in many ways. So I don't know to answer. What I know to answer is that one thing that I tell some people that I know is that when you're a 14-year-old, most of us had a lifestyle and we wanted a lifestyle and we couldn't imagine wanting the lifestyle of a 20-year-old. But then when you're 20, you can't imagine keeping the lifestyle of a 14-year-old. And so I think that as adults, we kind of had this feeling that we would want this lifestyle, whatever you're living right now, and you want it forever. But what you see is that most people go through phases and have different phases. And so I think that family phase is a different phase. And I also say that when people think they're gonna lose their lifestyle, that's the biggest fear that I feel in the people that I've met, that they're gonna lose their lifestyle. And I said, yes, you're gonna lose your lifestyle, but you're gonna gain another that is equally or more beautiful, in my opinion. And so the problem is that it says some people don't feel ready, but I don't think anyone feels ready. Like I didn't feel ready when I went from high school to university. I didn't feel ready at all when I went from university to first employment. And I didn't feel ready at all when I went from my work at a multinational to becoming an entrepreneur. Definitely not ready then.
Yeah.
And yet, each of those changes was a beautiful moment in my life. And so it is really difficult to say, should you have kids or not? I have no idea. But if you look backwards, many of the big changes in your life, you did not expect you would love them so much as you love them. And so I think sometimes in life, you need to take a leap of faith. And also I was looking everyone around us having one kid and another, and I'm thinking like, this thing gotta be good because people can't stop doing it, you know? It's like, so we at least like that we planned it, because when you plan it, you know, you also plan economically, maybe save a little bit, or you make sure that your income is at a level that you think you can do it comfortably. If it's completely unplanned, people used to say to me a lot, there's no right moment to have a kid. It's really funny because we had it in the right moment, which we decided when it was.
Yeah, and the second one too.
And the second one too.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that I'm right and they're wrong. What I'm saying is challenge the statements that people give you and believe that you can live life in your own terms. You don't need to have the same experience as someone else. So if you don't want the same experience that someone else had, then go try to find people that are having a different experience and ask them how they did it, because it's possible.
Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you got some insights. Yeah, have lots of kids. Join the sector. Yeah, that you have some insights on this, and like maybe it became a little bit more clear for you what is the experience. And though I want to disagree on something that you said, that you disagree, that people say that only by having kids you actually understand how it is. I think you understand it for yourself. Yes, that's true. Like you understand for yourself how it is for you. Yes, but overall you can have an
fully,
image.
maybe you understand it fully.
Right.
But I believe, and I don't know because we don't have second kid yet, but each kid will be different. Each phase of life will be different. And even though I kind of understood for myself what is having one kid, I have no idea what it means to have two.
And
I don't even know what it means to have one kid that is 5 years old, or one kid that is a teenager, or one kid that is 20 years old. And another thing, the last thing I'll say that I noticed, so I was in these masterminds where you talk a lot about personal stuff. And one thing that I noticed is that the kids of these people were like usually have 20-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids, our kid's only one. But the kid was kind of like the most important thing in most of these people's lives. Yeah. And I was like, wow, you know, it's like, so not only it can be really, really great having kids as they grow up, then of course there's that moment, maybe they become teenagers, they become a little bit difficult, there's a bit of distancing, not always, Ali always says that she was easy, not always. But then there's also the reconnection as adults where they can experience some in the world that they can connect with you in a different level than they could as kids. And I noticed that this was important for so many people. And I thought, at the time we already had a kid on the way, but I thought I really, really don't want to miss out on this, because the way these people are talking about their kids is like they're nothing more important in this world. And now I see that can be true.
Yeah, so cool. Finally, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
And yes, do you have some questions?
Like and if you have
kids because of us, please write a comment.
Sure. Or if you have questions,
thank you.